This is Bree Irish with KORC, News, Music, and Civics. If you thought the drama at the Oregon legislature was over, think again. I'm back with an update on the ODOT funding package saga. To catch us up, Oregonians are sure to recall the fight that took place over the ODOT funding package that raised taxes and fees on Oregonians to support ODOT operations and protect hundreds of jobs. The bill was contentious and passed on party lines almost completely in a special session that was delayed due to medical reasons for Senator Gorsuch of Gresham. As soon as the bill passed, it was sent to Governor Kotek's desk. She delayed the signing of the bill as long as she legally could to delay the opposition's efforts to put the tax increases on the ballot for a vote. Folks opposed to the gas tax had to wait to start gathering signatures until Governor Kotek signed the bill. The delay didn't stop them, though, and they gathered the requisite signatures to get the taxes on the ballot for November. And then, in a surprise twist, Governor Kotek then called for the complete repeal of that package that she herself pushed for. And then another twist, news broke that recently a legal opinion from 1935 could prevent the repeal of that legislation. This maneuver by Governor Kotek to avoid the referendum vote on the taxes by repealing the entire piece of legislation seems to not be allowed, as decided by our former Attorney General, I.H. Van Winkle. Van Winkle wrote, "The right of the people to a referendum on a statute enacted by the legislature cannot be defeated by a subsequent repeal of the act referred." Folks in Oregon widely assumed that this move by Kotek was an attempt to avoid answering for unpopular tax increases when she, herself, will also be on the ballot this coming November. Kotek's spokeswoman, Elizabeth Shepard, said the governor wasn't aware of the opinion when she asked for the repeal of the legislation and said the legislature will be doing its due diligence on how to best proceed. Well, now, we know how the legislature will be proceeding. The Oregon legislature deemed that a repeal of House Bill 3991 through legislative action would be unconstitutional, and the measure must be referred to voters. On Wednesday, House Speaker Julie Fahey and Senate President Rob Wagner announced that you are entering the spin zone. I'm just kidding. They didn't actually say that. Instead of working to repeal the package that they are now legally barred from repealing, Oregon legislature folks now want Oregonians to weigh in on the transportation funding. The legislative maneuvering that they planned to help avoid a vote didn't work, so now they are welcoming what they once tried to prevent. Instead of having the vote on the referendum in November, they want folks to weigh in on the funding on our primary on May 19th. Voters were clear that they want to have a say on this bill, and legislators and our local partners need to know the transportation funding landscape so meaningful conversations can continue, Wagner said in a statement. Setting the election date for May achieves both these goals. And no, it's not because primaries have lower than average turnout compared to November elections. And no, it's not because they wanted to avoid having the governor's name next to the referendum on the ballot. And it's really too bad that they didn't have a traveling transportation committee that went around the state starting in June 2024 to prepare for a transportation package. Oh wait, they actually did have that. Starting in 2024, the Joint Transportation Committee started a statewide tour to address the funding shortfalls and the needs relating to all things transportation in the state. There were 12 stops in all, meeting with environmental advocates, labor unions, business groups, as well as city and county leaders. By April 2025, Democrats unveiled the framework informed by this Joint Transportation Committee tour. By June 2025, it became clear that there were not enough votes to pass this package. Having no meaningful consensus on the package they had been working on for more than a year, ODOT announced that nearly 500 workers were about to lose their jobs due to a lack of funding. By the next month, Governor Kotek had called lawmakers back to Salem for a special session to pass the package. It ultimately did pass, as I mentioned at the beginning of this report. And now we're left here. So, folks, if you want a chance to weigh in on how the Oregon legislature funds ODOT, one more time, May 19th will be the date to let them know. This is Bree Irish with KORC, News, Music, and Civics.